So welcome back to the studio. I'm going to be doing another little tutorial on painting some ornaments. It is around Christmas. And the weather's not bad here, but I've got some time, so I thought I'd make a little video. Now, this ornament is one that we sold the most of. I think I only made about 10. I think I have one left. But the hardest thing on this is to try to get your background color, which is supposed to be kind of like a teal, mixed up properly. You're supposed to do 2 parts blue, 1 part green, and then about a half part yellow. But as you can see, it comes out quite a bit different. It just depending on how you mix it. You might be able to buy one of these apple barrel, or maybe you could just buy one off the shelf that's close enough. It's kind of supposed to be sky, but this green turns into kind of this dark aqua, which I'm not really sure if I like. I'm going to try this one I just mixed up in this other little egg crate portion here, see if I like it a little bit better. That one's not bad. It's almost the same as one of these already pre-mixed. So if you have pre-mixed blue or aqua or teal, I think it's teal is the color it's supposed to be, but teal is kind of a hard color to mix up by eye, so I would probably recommend using something already mixed up, or just kind of do a light blue background like this. This is a little bit darker than I want it to be. I wanted it to kind of be bright and stand out. What I'm doing is I'm painting these rounds. You know, always paint the background first. I'll paint a couple up probably. I've got a couple here that are cut. And I just paint these up and try to stay away from the edge. This is sassafras, and it's a little bit thicker than I normally go with. This might be like a 3/8 piece. And it's probably like 2 inch by 2 inch. And that's about the size I like to paint. That's a good ornament size. Some of these back here a friend gave us, and they're a little on the big size. So basically just paint your background. Which is kind of the most time consuming thing. So I will pause. I'm going to do this other one too here on the table, and I will come back in a second. Okay, so I'm going to do one of these bigger ones so you can see it easier, but this is a pretty simple little snowman design. I'm trying to get my little egg crate here in the right spot so you can see. So what I do is just make a couple circles, basically, a bigger one on the bottom. And they don't even have to be perfectly shaped, but because you know a snowball really isn't totally round. This isn't quite dry, but I think it'll be okay. And sometimes I kind of put a little snow on the ground around it. That kind of hides a little bit of stuff. Okay, that looks decent. We kind of want to make it with this one. This ornament's big enough that you probably could make a three-tiered snowman, I guess. But I think I'm just going to do 2. I changed my mind. I'll do another one. If you goof something, you kind of come back. See this right here? Needs to be a little bit bigger. And you might have to do this a couple times to get your white to show up real nice and white. So now the next step that you want to do is kind of make snowflakes falling, which sometimes is easier than others, just little dots. randomly, which is hard. It doesn't matter really the size, but I try not to make them all the same size. We're going to add a few more things, but this is kind of our background. We could have added this before we did our snowballs, but we're still going to add a hat, some hands, little twig hands, and then he's going to be holding some lights, or she. Next step is to add arms, hat, face, carrot for the nose. And if you don't have any of these Posca paints, these are definitely worth getting yourself a small set. I think you can get a set like this. It's either 4 or 5 pens for about 20 bucks. But we have a big set. I think we have maybe like 15. But they are expensive, but they are worth it, especially if you're doing this kind of a thing. So basically here what you're gonna do is do your arms, and I just like come off the side and do like a little 3-branch thing like that. I don't even have to be going the same direction, or maybe you want to add a 4th one hanging out there. And then of course you put a couple of little buttons on here. And this one, I'm gonna do a green hat. Let's do a little green hat. Little green hat. Little eyes. Make his little face, smiling face. And then the nose is the hardest, I think, to get it right. I think it's dry enough. And that's the basic snowman. I'm looking for my other marker. If you wanted to, you could put a scarf, like kind of wrap it around his neck and then make the tails come off. You can do that with any color. But I'd had some that had a string of lights, kind of just like a swirls. He was holding. And then I came back and just kind of added little dots. I'll probably have to wait till this dries. So you want to have a bunch of different colors ready to go. I have a Posca that is a fine tip black, and that makes a little bit better of a light string. And I might have to go to my light blue. But it's pretty similar to the background. Just got to kind of play with it and see what you like. This one didn't turn out the best, but that is fine, because not everyone can be perfect. think we're missing orange. Kind of looks like he's holding a little string of lights. I think if it my fine tip pen, it would have been a little bit better. And I feel like he needs a scarf. I think I'm gonna do green to match his. I made a little quick adjustment. I noticed if you add a little bit more than just a dot, maybe like a little bit of line to the lights, it makes it look a little bit better. Here's what I did on the other one. This was green one was the first one. See, I kind of drug the light colors out a little bit so it kind of looks like a bulb. So these will be a couple real nice ornaments for next season. We'll just store them away. This is the time of the year I like to do this kind of stuff. Here's all the other ones I did. Some I don't put anything on, like this guy. So it's a quick little project, but like I said in other videos, I like to make sure I have plenty of blanks cut and dried so that when I'm doing it, I can do 4 or 5 at once. It seems to go quick, you know, quick if you just do your base, and while you're doing your base, you can let the first one dry. Well, by the time you get back to that first one, after you've done about 4 or 5, that base is dry. Then you can do your next step on all of them and kind of make like a little assembly line. So hopefully this is helpful for you and you can come up with some cool ideas for ornaments. Love to see what you came up with, and you can send it to us at our Facebook page, Schrader Tree Farm, or look me up on the web. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next video.